Hello actors, welcome back to my channel. I'm the British acting coach and we are going to be looking at the Mad Hatter footage today. If you are new here, I am called Pippa. If you are new here, my name is Pippa. I am a working actor here in the UK. I have been for just coming up to 8 years now. I trained at drama school and I'm an Essex girl originally. I started this channel as a means to help you guys become a better actor, but also to help myself become a better actor. I do also offer no bullshit advice. I'm not kind of here to romanticize the industry. I'm here to get better at the industry and enjoy the craft of acting more and help you guys find the fun in the work as well. So this channel is not one of those I'm trying to become famous channels. This is we're here to work and learn and have a really good time while we're doing it kind of channel. All right, yeah, let's go. So if you haven't watched this video back yet, please go back and do it. Watch the whole self-tape in its entirety and view it as an audience member. First and foremost, that's really, really important. And once you've done that, please go and give it a thumbs up. It's not necessarily for the algorithm so much, it's just so I can see how many people are actually coming back week on week doing this. So let's have a go. Let's look at this audition self-tape.
I know, Will, tell me about it. I know it's going absolutely downhill at the end too. I know, Will, it's going absolutely downhill. Whoa, you can't sit there.
Why on earth not?
Because that's the dormouse's seat.
I don't see any dormouse.
Well, he's sleeping. Oh, let's wake him up.
Oh,
Wake up, dormouse!
So straight off the bat, I just want to say that this is the Mad Hatter that we're looking at here. Alice in Wonderland. If you're not familiar with the story, go look it up. There's many weird and wonderful iterations of this story. And the Mad Hatter is mad. I wanted to keep the Mad Hatter almost as normal as possible. I often think that, of course, there's lots of creativity to be had and explored and played around with in the story. However, I've already shown, this is part 3 of 3 separate scenes for one audition. One panelist or director or one panel full of various people are going to watch all 3 of these performances. My White Rabbit was quite heightened. My Queen of Hearts was quite heightened. So I thought to contrast, I would show my Mad Hatter as being quite casual and down to earth and let the madness kind of come through in the puppetry rather than trying to be all, ooh, kooky and very silly. So what I thought was quite interesting here is I had a little bit of improv at the beginning. This is for a production where people are going to be walking in and doing a promenade piece of theatre. So there's going to be an element of the audience walking in whilst something is happening and then starting a conversation. So I ad-libbed some stuff at the beginning just so the panel can take me in this new setting. This is the 3rd setting they're seeing me in this one self-tape. If you haven't seen the others, just to fill you in, I had to record 3 different characters for one self-tape, for one audition. So 3 different scenes, 3 different characters for one actual audition, which is a lot to ask for. These weren't short, snappy scenes either. And as you can see, I've really had to go to town on props, lighting, costume. I've really chosen to kind of throw myself into all of those things. So yeah, no mean feat. This audition was no mean feat. I've put some extra props up around as well that you can see. Because I'm at a tea party, I thought I'd have some more guests at my tea party. So I grabbed a few things. I've got some Lego people there, a king and queen chess piece, which I thought was quite fitting. And I am wearing a bit of a chessboard checkered jumper, which I was going to wear for the White Rabbit. But I actually thought this was a little bit more kooky. And I wouldn't normally recommend wearing a patterned, loud jumper like this in an audition. But I'm playing the Mad Hatter. I thought I'd go a little bit more out there. And I thought I'd kind of show a bit more quirkiness in there. So I quite like that. Then
I know, it's going absolutely downhill. Whoa, you can't sit.
I quite enjoy that I'm acknowledging the audience as they come in. I'm saying, hello, oh yeah, hi. And I'm not making a big deal of it until they start the scene. That's when I kind of pick up my volume a little bit and make it clear that this interaction is quite important.
There.
Why on earth not?
Because that's the dormouse's seat.
I don't see any dormouse.
Well, he's sleeping. Oh, let's wake him up.
Oh,
Wake up, dormouse!
Another thing I want to point out is that I'm staying very true to my accent and my voice here. I'm keeping it quite casual, Essex, nothing upper class or queen-like about it, which I have demonstrated in, well, the White Rabbit and the Queen of Hearts as well. Why did I do that? Well, a Mad Hatter, someone who creates hats, I imagine it was quite a respected job of its time. However, it's a working class job, right? Wealthy people afforded hats, and you make the hats for the wealthy people. So I kind of like the idea of keeping it a bit more working class, because I do think that was just a little subtle nod to the truth of where the character comes from in my version, which I just thought I'd keep him.
Nothing. The walls of the teacup must be too thick.
I'm lighthousing, what I call lighthousing. I'm actually including the characters on the table there, the Shakespeare, the King and Queen, the Lego people, and the audience around. I'm not just talking to Alice and keeping my focus on my Alice. And also, you'll notice...
I know. On 3, let's all shout, "Wake up, Dormouse." Ready? 9, 4, 3. Wake up, Dormouse! I wasn't...
Another character. So I mentioned earlier that I had to audition 3 characters, 3 different scenes. There's actually multiple characters in this scene. We've got Alice, who I'm not acting, but I'm acting with, who I need to have a good idea of what they look like, sound like, what's going on for that character as well. My Mad Hatter character, and then this Dormouse character. Like I said, this audition did ask for a lot, and so they're not always going to be like this. But when I do an audition, and I agree to do an audition, I give it my everything, and I highly recommend that you do too. I have created a puppet and a whole different voice and accent for my Dormouse character. Is it brilliant puppetry? Is it, are we talking Warhorse level here? No, of course we're not, but I've done what I can. I'm proud of the choices I made here, and I'm glad I committed to that. There was that thought initially where I thought, oh, is that too much? But who gives a crap? I thought this was a good idea, and I ran with it. So try not to second guess yourself in your auditions. Have fun. This is like one of those auditions where I really could have fun. Otherwise, I would have just got really het up about it and probably just said, oh, I didn't have time, I'm turning the audition down. Didn't want to do that. So yeah, a little bit of advice for you now. And in terms of the accent, actually, let's have a little listen.
I was wide awake. I heard every word you fellows were saying. Oh, sing us a song. What? Sing us a song? Oh, no, couldn't possibly. Go on and do it quick, otherwise you'll be asleep again before it's done. Oh, no.
Dormouse?
How dare you? You'll hurt his feelings.
He doesn't have feelings. He's not real.
Who is this rude girl?
That was you. No. You're doing his voice.
I'm really enjoying this, I have to say. Again, not just because it's me, aren't I? Can you see all the little details I'm adding in and bits of character, even on Alice's lines? I'm not just snapping out of it and really like, now I'm the mouse, now I'm the Mad Hatter, which could have worked really well. I've kind of tried to make sure that my mouse is still active while I'm giving eye contact to Alice. The mouse is doing something, I'm really trying to be present and take in and react and keep it all alive at once, which I do think is quite good to see. And I think I'm proud of this tape, probably more than the other 2 of this tape. It's not perfect, I'm kind of, the accent doesn't jump completely. This is, like I said, they've asked for a lot in a very short amount of time, and I've really given it my everything. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying that. The accent is like, there's a bit of a northern accent, just kind of going up there, and a little bit heightened, a little bit more silly, a little bit more character driven, right? I don't know where that came from, but I was like, what can I do that's quite simple, that I'm not going to worry about? If you remember when I did the White Rabbit audition piece, I tried it Scottish to begin with, but it was putting me off. I wasn't able to get into it. So I picked an accent that I was very confident with. And so I wasn't stressing about that in the audition, because as you can see, I've already got a lot to stress about. I've got to remember the lines. I've not got the script here. I'm trying to react to Alice. I'm trying to include the audience and puppeteer and do all the action that has been written down. So yeah, I think I'm not going to be too hard on this. I think thus far it's quite entertaining, a little bit different, and not what I was expecting, actually. If I was someone thinking, oh, I'm about to see a rendition of the Mad Hatter scene that I've got, this is not really what I was expecting. Could be totally wrong for the piece. I don't know. But again, I've just shown them my initial ideas, and I know that in rehearsal, that's stuff that will be ironed out or expanded on, because of having a director in the room, having a costume designer show me what I'm wearing, have all of that and see the set as well, like who are the guests at the tea party, all of that sort of thing will help you with your character. So I'm not trying to show them absolutely everything or get their version of the Mad Hatter through. I'm getting my version through, and that's all you can ever do in an audition. So yeah, thus far, I'm just quite happy with what I've done here.
Ridiculous! I know.
I dropped the line there, and I want to bring that up. I didn't just go, oh, what's the line? I stayed with it, I focused, and then I remembered the line that was my line. It was my cue. I was a little bit slow on the uptake here, but again, I'm not going to be hard on myself for that. Look at everything I'm doing. It's a lot. So yeah, I let the line come. I wasn't beating myself up over it. And then I just carried on full force, full energy, and committed to the next thing.
Voice?
Ridiculous! I know.
Stayed in
I'll
character.
prove it. Oh yeah, I'll prove it. I will drink.
Another little ad lib there. Probably won't have time for that in the real show, the real production or whatever, but I did it. I added it in. It came naturally and I just ran with it.
From my teacup while the dormouse sings us a lovely song, oh God, for our delectation.
Also want to point out, it's quite clever, I think, that I've put the mouse on the teacup. If the mouse was on the table that I'm using there, you wouldn't really see it. It's a very similar colour. So you'll notice, I mentioned this in the White Rabbit as well, that red background. I wanted to make sure I had a nice white t-shirt. And the white background, I had a big lilac jumper on with my red balloon. In this one, it's a little bit busier. And if I didn't use the teacup, the mouse would have blended in. And I wanted to make sure the mouse was a bit higher up. So again, looking at this tape, can you see if the mouse was lower down, you wouldn't really be able to see it. So I've made sure, as a filmmaker in this self-tape, someone who's aware of those things, I've made sure I've propped it high enough so you can still read it and see it, and everything is kind of balanced and working well together in synergy. So things to think about.
Oh, God. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
And I got that wrong. I think it's meant to be twinkle, twinkle, little bat. But again, I just went with it. At this point, after recording the other two self-tapes and spending approximately 4 hours on this on my Sunday afternoon, I was happy with what I delivered. Yes, some things were wrong, but usually, and again, from what I've heard from casting directors, they'd rather you just ran with it and committed to it and made these little mistakes that they know can be ironed out because you're a professional, and do it that way, really.
How I wonder what you are, up above the world so high. Twinkle, twinkle in the sky. Oh, well done. Satisfied?
See there, I made a total mistake. I said well done in the wrong accent. That was a genuine error. Kept it in, didn't let it flounder me, didn't go, oh, I've screwed it up. Carried on, stuck with it, laughed a little bit and carried on. It's absurd, right? But this also shows that there is an awareness of what we're doing here. I'm acting. If I make a mistake as obvious as that, the audience know that I'm doing the voice. That's kind of the gag. The Mad Hatter is adamant they're not doing the voice. And this mouse is a real mouse. Alice is saying, that's not a real mouse, you're doing the voice. So when I do mess it up, I just carry on. Like, there's this awareness almost that I know I'm an actor putting on this play. And I like that that mistake happened, and I like that I kept it in. Keeps it human. And just to reiterate one more time, I had a lot to do in this self-tape. It's okay.
Oh, well done. Well done. Satisfied?
Well,
How dare you! Well, I think you hurt his feelings.
I thought it was really solid, to be completely honest with you. I'm really happy with that. I was a little bit apprehensive about this bit, actually. I thought this was like the worst one that I did, but out of all the three, this is the one I probably enjoyed the most, just because I know what it was like doing it as the actor, right? It's my work. Is it perfect? No. Is it, Olivier worthy? No, I don't think so. Is it on par with Johnny Depp's wonderful portrayal of the Mad Hatter? No, it's just a different version. There is no right or wrong. And so I am going to keep this one quite short and sweet. There's things I would do differently. The lighting, not brilliant. However, it was at winter time. It was getting dark already. I did what I could with what I was able to do. Would I have done my hair a little bit differently? Maybe I'd have worn some makeup, something like that. I did what I could for the time. And what really I think I made sure I focused on in this audition was the voices, was the puppetry, and making these things come to life a little bit more. Yes, it's absurd. Yes, I'm talking to a mouse made out of a toilet roll bit of cardboard. But I think I bought into it to a point where it was believable. Almost. Well, not almost. I do think it was believable. So yeah, really interested to hear your thoughts on this. This was a real challenge, and I'm really glad these three are done on this reaction video. Yeah, it was a real challenge and a bit of a stress for me on the Sunday, I'm not going to lie. But that is the name of the game. That is what we do as actors. We get a self-tape through and we commit wholeheartedly to trying to get that job done. I know what went into all of these characters for this one self-tape, which I keep saying, it's for one self-tape. This is a lot. You don't usually, especially for screen and TV, get asked this much in like a first round audition. Commercials can be a little bit different, but for theatre, where they are maybe, and I think this was just at the back end of like theatre opening up again, COVID, all of that sort of thing, it made sense to have this done as a self-tape. And I think it was a real challenge as an actor. Is this the kind of work I want to do moving forward? Not really. I don't really want to do puppetry. I really enjoy it, but it's not really my thing. So I'm actually going to leave it there. I think this is a really good example of how you've just got to not be afraid to look a little bit silly and make mistakes. And yes, there's so much I would do differently. I would probably really nitpick if it was for, let's say I had booked the job and I was coaching a student once they'd confirmed they got the role and we're trying to master this. How do we master the puppet, the mouse, and the characters and the accents and make sure that's all really, really clear? There's so much more I would have done. This is simply an audition, though. And for the audition, I think this actor did a good job. Remember, the panel would have seen me do the White Rabbit, then the Queen, then this. It was a lot to ask for, which I keep iterating, but they won't always ask for this much. However, because they did ask for this much, I think this actor has done a good job in showcasing what they're capable of. They kind of have shown that they're not really afraid to look a little bit silly. The lighting isn't brilliant. The camera angles aren't the most flattering. I'm not trying to look a certain way. I'm just trying to tell the truth of what I think of this story and get that across. And I think that does come across. So yeah, I'm not really going to criticize too much on this one. I think it was quite fun, a little bit silly. Yes, mistakes were made, but they stayed in character. And I think from this, if I was watching this as an acting coach, as I kind of am, I would see that this actor would be more than able to handle being in front of a live audience and also dealing with like a promenade interactive live audience. And I think that's the key thing here that the panel maybe needed to see. So yeah, I will give the student a clap on the back, a round of applause and a pat on the back. That's what I'm trying to say. And say, yeah, good job. I think it's, yeah, not too shabby at all, and I don't really want to kind of lay into anything else. So yeah, super chuffed with this. Looking forward to not talking about Alice in Wonderland again for a while, and I hope that was useful for you guys. If you have got any thoughts or things that you enjoyed or anything like that, just comment below, let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next reaction video. Take care, see you soon.